See, my dear friends, I will explain the previous class very briefly. You have to write C program like this. First, you have to write a hash include stdio1.h. Then you have to write void main. Then you have to put curly bracket. Inside these two curly brackets, you have to write the solution to the program. What is the use of this line? My dear friends, here we are here to build a program in C language. To build a program, we require so many tools. Those tools are already available in this header file. We are including this header file and we are going to build the application easily. For that, we need to write this line of code. Every program always begins its execution with main method. So we need to write main method. It is called solution. It depends upon the program. It changed from program to program. Next one, we need to understand what is data types. In data, there are so many types. See this. Here we have alphabets. Alphabets are called as characters in C language. 0, 1, 2, 3. These are the round numbers. These are called integers in C language. A number with a decimal point. These are called float. These are called float. These are called double also. Now, what is the difference between float and double? I will explain here. Whenever you divide a number with 3, 100 with 3, you will get 33.3333 and so on you will get. Suppose I store the result in float, it maintains only 6 precisions. It will maintain only 6. Whereas double also a number with a decimal point, but it maintains 10 precisions. Depends upon the precisions. You can take float or you can take double. If you need up to 10 precisions, you go for double. If you need up to 6 precisions, you go for float. If you need 0 precisions, then you go for integer. That is the difference. All are numbers only. Integer, float, double, all are numbers. It is the previous class. See, my dear friends, today I am going to explain one more concept, that is modifiers. See, my dear friends, in integer variable, you can store all these numbers. Any number you can store. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 100, 200, 300, 1 lakh, 2 lakh. You can store the data. What is the size of integer? 4 bytes. When you store something in computer memory, it will occupy some memory. What is the size of the integer variable? 4 bytes. When you store a number in computer, it occupies 4 bytes of memory. Suppose, my dear friends, I have 4-liter water bottle. 4 liters water bottle. In 4 liters water bottle, how much of milk we can store? Can you speak out? Can you tell me how much of milk we can store in 4 liters water bottle? Anand.
4, sir.
4 only. We can keep it empty also, no? We can keep it empty.
Yes, sir.
We can store 10 ml. We can store 20 ml. We can store half liter. We can store 1 liter. We can store 1.5 liter. And like that, we can store up to 4 liters. Am I right?
Yes,
So,
sir.
0 to 4,000 ml. It is the capacity of the water bottle of size 4 liters. It is nothing but range also. Range. In the same manner, in 4 bytes of memory, you can store minus 32,768 2 plus 32,767. You can store the numbers from negative value this one to positive value this one. Suppose there is an employee, his salary is equal to 70,000. Now 70,000 is in this range or outside the range? It is beyond the range. Then this number you cannot store in integer variable. Then what to do? We have to increase the size of the integer. You have to make modification to the behavior of the integer. For that we have to use modifiers. To increase the size of integer, we have to use long integer. Long integer will increase the size of the integer, then you can store big numbers. Suppose I want to decrease the size of integer, then I can use short integer. In short integer, you can store minus 128 to plus 127. Now I am going to store the marks of a student. Marks of a student. Marks of the students may be 0 to 100 marks, am I right? So a student may get 0 marks, 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 marks. The exam is only for 100 marks, so you can get 0 to 100 marks. To store this type of small numbers, you can use short integer. Suppose I want to store the temperature of ice. Integer temperature. What is the temperature of ice? Minus 5 degrees, minus 10 degrees, minus 30 degrees. Temperature of ice is always negative number. So it is having the sign. So it is called signed integer. Signed integer means you can store in this variable only negative values. Suppose I want to store only positive values, then I can say unsigned integer. Unsigned integer, age of a person. Age is minus 5 years. Is it valid? No, it is invalid. Why? Because age is always positive number, no negative numbers. So if you want to allow only positive number, then you can say unsigned integer. If you want to allow only negative numbers, then you can say signed integer. If you want to store small values, then you can say short integer. If you want to store big values, you can say long integer. So this type of modifiers, long, short, signed, unsigned, are called as modifiers. So these are already defined in computer. So the names already defined in computer are called as keywords. So these are keywords. Keywords means these names are already defined by the system. What is the use of these? These are used to modify the meaning of keyword, the meaning of keyword, the meaning of data type. If you want to change the meaning of data type, then you have to use these modifiers. In C language, we have 4 types of modifiers. C provides 4 types of modifiers. What are the examples? Examples are short, long, signed, unsigned. Explanation. This is the explanation. Right. It is about the modifiers. If you want to change the size or behavior of modifier, behavior of data type, then you have to use modifiers. Friends, got it? Friends, note down this. Friends, I already told you. Once you complete the free demo classes, then I will send this material to you every day using a WhatsApp group. Until that, you need to note it down. Right. If it is completed, please tell me. I will go to the next concept.
Yes, sir.
Anand Kumar completed?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Can I go to the next topic, my dear friends? Asmita,
Yes.
Rakesh, Pranav, Prem Sai. Okay, right. Now the next concept is variables. Friends, whenever you go to a college, you will take a water bottle, you will take a lunch box, you will take a college bag. Am I right? Yes. Now, what is the use of water bottle? It is used to store the water. What is the use of lunch box? It is used to store the meal. What is a college bag? It is used to store the books. So to store something, we need a container. In C language also, to store the data, we need the container. Those containers are called as variables. Now, what is a variable? It is a container. What is the use of this? It is used to store the data. If you want to store the data, you have to use a container. See, I will give a small example to you. In paintbrush, I am going to explain. So I want to store 3 values. So I am going to create 3 containers. So these are nothing but the containers. In first container, I am going to store roll number. In second container, I am going to store student name. In third container, I am going to store average marks of a student. So in this way, you can store the data in containers. So these containers are called as variables. So what is a variable? Variable is a container which is used to store the data. In one container, only one value you can store. So it allows to store only one value. Here we have three containers, means three variables. Every variable must have a name. First variable name is roll number. Second variable name is student name. Third variable name is average marks, like that. So every variable will have a name. And the variables generally created inside the computer memory. The box is nothing but it is nothing but the memory. The variables will be created inside the computer memory. These creates inside the memory. These must identified by a name. With a name, these should be identified. So it is about the variable. Why it is called variable means it allows to change its value. Change, it is nothing but variation. Variation, it is also called as vary. Variation or vary. So it allows to vary its value. So it is called variable. It allows to vary. What is the meaning of vary? Variation. It allows to vary its value. So it is called variable. It is called variable. Right. So this is about the variable. Now, how to create the variables? Create. That is also called as declaration of variable. How to create a variable? Here I created three variables now. How to create them? What is the code we need to write? That I am going to explain you. So to create the variables like this, what is the code we have to write? Here, my dear friends, how many variables I created? Three variables. What are the names? First one is roll number, R and O. Second one is S name. Third one is average marks. Average. In roll number, I stored 501. What is the data type of 501? It is integer. So integer. What is the data type of frame? It contains characters, alphabets. So character. Whenever you say character, it allows to store only one letter. But in any name, you will have so many letters. Then what to do? You have to specify how many letters you are going to store. Whenever you write this one, character means 1 byte. 1 into 100 means 100 bytes. Computer allocate 100 bytes. In this variable, we can store up to 100 characters. The average marks is having a decimal point. So it is a float average marks. Like whenever you write these 3 lines of code, it will be happen. Now, these 3 are the examples. Syntax. Syntax means how to write. How to create a variable, tell me. First, we need to mention integer, character, float. What are those? Those are nothing but data type. After that, you have to mention the name of the variable. Variable name. Variable name. These 3 are the examples. It is the syntax. Now, a variable can be created with the help of a data type. With the help of a name, you can create a variable. So, variable can be created with the help of data type and name of variable. It is about the variables creation, right? Friends, note it down this. If it is completed, please tell me.
Yes, sir.
Right. Note on this diagram. Anand.
Okay, sir.
Friends, see this. Here I named first variable as roll number, second variable as S name, third variable as average marks. While naming the names also, we have to follow some rules and regulations. Those are called scope rules of variables. Scope rules of variables. While naming a variable, what are the rules and regulations follow are called as scope rules. So the rules, those needs to be followed when we create a variable are called scope rules of variable. Here I will explain some rules. Before that, I will explain using a table. What are the valid names, invalid names? Suppose, my dear friends, I want to create a variable with name number 1, it is valid. Number 2, it is also valid. But if you write first number, it is invalid. Second number, it is invalid. Why? Because the first letter, it should be an alphabet or it may be an alphabet or underscore. So what is the rule number 1? Rule number 1 is variable name must begins with what? With an alphabet or with an underscore. With underscore or with alphabet you have to start. With digits you should not start. It is again valid. Underscore first number, it is valid. Why? Because it begins with underscore. Underscore or alphabet. Then these are valid. Digits are not valid. Second one, it is invalid. Odd numbers sum. Odd sum. Sum of the odd numbers. Odd sum. So here why I gave a space here? It is one word, it is another word. But in C language, while naming you should not give any space. It is invalid. It is valid. Odd underscore sum, it is valid. It doesn't allow spaces. Second point. It does not allow the spaces in name of the variable. Now it is also invalid. Odd plus sum, it is invalid. Why? Because it doesn't allow any special symbol except underscore. Underscore only allow. It does not allow special symbols, except underscore. Underscore only allowable. Remaining all are not allowable. As a variable, you cannot write a integer, character, float, or long, short. These names you cannot use as variables. Why? Because these are the names already defined in computer. These are called keywords. Those are having the special purpose. You cannot change the meaning of the purpose of the keywords. So you cannot use such type of names as variables. So the meaning is it should not be a keyword. A keyword you cannot use it as variable name. Keyword. Maximum number of characters. It allow only 31. So its length should not exceed 31 characters. 31 characters. These are the examples. Right? Friends, note on this. What are the rules we have to follow while naming a variable? Pranav is asking, sir, today is last day for enrollment. Yes, it is the last day. From Monday onwards, the paid students only can join in our class. Thank you, Pranav. Asmita also saying yes, yes. Friends, if it is completed, please tell me. I will stop the class for today.
Yes, sir.
Completed, friends? Asmita, thank you, ma. Thank you. If you have any doubt in today's class, you can ask. Otherwise, I will wind up the session. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good night.